Okay, continuing on with section 2.5, we're going to do some multiplication of decimals, which is important to be able to do percentage problems. So in multiplying decimals, we multiply as usual. We ignore the decimals, we count the total number of decimal places, and then place that into the answer counting from the right. So let's take a look at these. So our first example here, we have 1.2 times 1.2. So I'm going to ignore the decimals, and I'm just going to be multiplying 12 times 12. 12 times 12 is 144. You should know that, by the way. If you don't, please do practice your multiplication tables. Then there are 1, 2 total decimal places, so I'll place that into my answer here from the right, counting toward the left, and my decimal goes there, giving me a 1.44, and that's my final answer. In my next one, I have 15.1 times 0.02, and so I'm going to ignore the decimal for the time, multiplying 151 times 2. So 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 5 is 10, carry the 1, and 2 times 1 plus 1 is 3. So we have 302. So I'm going to write the 302 here, and then I have 3 decimal places, 1, 2, and 3 total decimal places, 1, 2, 3 total decimals. The decimal goes there. You know I like to put zeros out here in front so those decimals don't get lost. The next one we have 310.9 times 0.13, so I'm going to ignore the decimals, multiply 3,109 times 13. You see the answer down here. And then the next thing I'm going to do is count up the total number of decimals. We have 1, we have 2, and we have 3 total decimals. Put that in from the right, counting toward the left, and we see that our final answer is 40.417. Or if we read that correctly, that is 40 and 417 thousandths. But you know, that's kind of a pain. So our next task is to do percentage problems. Now there are 3 different types of percentage problems that we'll eventually encounter. And you'll see a table here and another table down here of how to do those. The only ones we're dealing with are the bold ones here. A percent of number is what? Percent times the number is equal to our value. So I'm going to show you writing them as algebra problems. Percent of blank, which is the whole part, is blank, which is the portion. And that's this box down here where we're multiplying a percent written as a decimal times the number, which is the whole, and that's going to tell us the part. So we are going to find 35% of 18 ounces. So 35% of 18 ounces is what number of ounces? And I'm going to write that there. So to change this to a problem, we first of all must make our percent as a decimal, so 0.35, and then we're going to multiply that by 18, and then that's going to give us our X value. And that value is the 35 times 18 with the 2 decimals in it, and I'll leave that up to you. Another way of doing this is to say we have 35 parts of 100, and that's equal to the is over the of. So we have some question mark here, which is our X up there, and that's equal or over our of amount, which is our 18. And this problem is a proportion which you multiply across this way, and so we're going to end up multiplying 35 times 18 and then dividing by 100. And that's how we'd solve that. So it looks like 100 times x, which is equal to 35 times 18. And then in order to finish solving that problem, you have to divide both sides by 100. Now that's the reason that I really don't want to go into these, because that requires us to solve algebraic equations. And we see that we have the same problem really that we have here, right? 35 parts of 100, so 35 times 18 and then divided by the 100, which is exactly what you see there. And 0.35 times 18 is going to give us the 6.3. So this is 6.3, and those are ounces. Okay, that will be leading us to our last problem, which we have 8 1/4%.